Intro music fades in and then fades to background. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us. Whether we realize it or not, US cybersecurity. You might think, I'm not a target, but the reality is, our entire way of life is built on a digital foundation that's looking increasingly fragile. So the big question is, why isn't America's cybersecurity infrastructure good enough? Let's break it down. First, let's look at the sheer scale of the problem. Did you know that since the start of the COVID pandemic, the number of daily cyberattacks has skyrocketed to over 4,000? That's not a typo. 4,000 attacks every single day. This surge has thrown a harsh spotlight on the vulnerabilities lurking within our digital systems, from small businesses to the highest levels of government. It's like a digital pandemic that's been raging in the background. So what exactly is cybersecurity? In simple terms, it's the practice of protecting our computers, networks, and data from unauthorized access or damage. Think of it as the digital equivalent of locking your doors and setting an alarm system. The concept has been around since the dawn of computing in the 1950s, but the game has changed dramatically. Back then, it was about protecting a few massive isolated machines. Today, everything is connected. The complexity of our modern world is a hacker's paradise. Your smartphone, your smart TV, your car, the hospital's medical records, the city's traffic light system, they're all part of a vast interconnected web. Every single one of these connection points is a potential doorway for an attacker. The more complex the system, the more potential weak points there are to exploit. It's an almost impossible task to secure every single one. So who are these attackers and what are they trying to do? We often call them hackers, and their toolkit is incredibly diverse. They use malicious software, known as computer viruses, that can spread like a biological disease, corrupting files and stealing information. Then there are phishing emails, those deceptive messages that trick you into giving away your passwords or financial details. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game, where the attackers are always inventing new ways to break in. One of the most frightening aspects of this is the threat to our critical infrastructure. We're talking about the systems that keep our society running, the power grid, water treatment plants, financial markets, and transportation networks. Imagine a cyberattack that shuts down the electricity for a major city for days or even weeks. The consequences would be catastrophic. The scary part is that many of these systems were built decades ago, long before cybersecurity was a major concern. They've been retrofitted with digital controls, but they weren't designed from the ground up to be secure. This brings us to a huge challenge: visibility. It's incredibly difficult for security experts to monitor these vast networks and understand what's happening in real time. They're trying to find a needle in a haystack, a single malicious piece of code hidden among billions of legitimate data packets. By the time a threat is detected, the damage may have already been done. Attackers can lurk inside a network for months, quietly mapping it out and stealing data before anyone even knows they're there. The evolution of threats is relentless. In the early days, hackers were often hobbyists, motivated by curiosity or a desire to show off their skills. Today, cybercrime is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We have organized criminal gangs who operate like multinational corporations, and state-sponsored attackers who target other nations for political or economic gain. These groups are well-funded, highly skilled, and incredibly persistent. They're not just kids in a basement. They are sophisticated adversaries. So, why isn't the US better prepared? It's not for lack of trying, but the challenges are immense. There's a massive shortage of cybersecurity professionals. We simply don't have enough trained experts to fill all the open positions needed to defend our digital borders. Furthermore, the responsibility for cybersecurity is spread thin. It's a patchwork of government agencies, private companies, and individual users. Getting everyone to work together seamlessly is a monumental task. A company might not invest enough in security because it cuts into profits, leaving a vulnerability that can be exploited to attack a larger system. What can be done? The solution requires a multi-layered approach. Governments need to set stronger regulations and invest more in both defensive and offensive cyber capabilities. Companies must prioritize security as a core part of their business strategy, not just an IT afterthought. And for us, as individuals, we need to practice good cyber hygiene. Using strong, unique passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, and being skeptical of suspicious emails can make a huge difference. You are the first line of defense for your own data. The battle for cybersecurity is one of the defining challenges of the 21st century. It's not a problem with an easy fix. It's a constant, evolving struggle. The stakes couldn't be higher, as it involves our economic stability, our national security, and our personal privacy. We've built a world that runs on data, and now we must learn how to protect it. The wake-up call has been sounding for years, and it's time we all started listening. Thanks so much for watching. I know this was a heavy topic, but it's an incredibly important one. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the topics that shape our world. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video. Stay safe out there, both online and off. See you next time.